Alright, how am I going to keep this brief and rapid as possible? Okay, probably I figure if someone sees this whining, they get the point. So I'm sorry if you didn't get the point, but I'm doing the experiment. Okay, so this is a real example of its data. The rotor, north, south, north, south. So here I have a 2D image of it, the rotor, a 2D image of this data. So what I'm going to do, to keep this brief, I'll be rewinding a first coil, let's say the yellow coil. Traditionally, you wrap your coil, let's say 20 turns, change direction, 20 turns, change direction, 20 turns, change direction, 20 turns, whatever the amount of turns you want to put per coil and per teeth. Okay? It's a phase. But what if on the first phase, on the same phase, I wrap another coil but in the opposite direction, 20, 20, 20, 20, etc. Get it? Will I force each of these teeth to have two poles instead of one? Every time you energize, you spin the rotor. Okay? You're energizing the coil. So there we'll have north, south, north, south. But if two coils energize at the same time, am I forcing each pole to have two poles? North, south, north, south, north, south, north, south. I'm not going deeper in this explanation. I hope I made myself clear. This is not a traditional way. It's an experiment. But the point is of this first test is, will the induction of the two coils, while they are producing energy, will they, how you would say it, stop each other from producing? So, rotor, to explain how the coil is wound, I just place them in 2D. So will this, in as much as current will be flowing in two directions at the same time, one direction in one coil, one direction in the other coil, will these coils neutralize each other and prevent any energy from coming from each of the coils? So I have to put a load on each of these coils, start and ends, individually to see if they'll send. The other test, I'm going to put this current to be flowing in this direction when the magnet is in a position in this coil, but in the opposite direction in this coil. So to have a series, because I'll be trying this coil out in series, to make series tests, the current is flowing in this direction in the yellow coil, and the opposite direction in this coil, I'm going to attach this end to this end. So I'll be placing my load on the both stats, okay, to see if it will send energy also. Alright? So, in as much as I'm trying to make some experiment on Lenz's law and all this stuff, I won't get to this part too much in depth, but hey, in retraction mode, Lenz creates an equal and opposite, an equal force in the coil. If a magnet is coming up to this coil is going to produce a field north-south, and it's going to try and oppose the magnet, which causes cogging, for example. But that's not this experiment. What I'm going to show for now is that if this represents the magnet, the coil, right? This coil only has two poles, the north facing the magnet and the south on the other side of the coil. But winding two coils, is it going to force this side instead of one, just a north, it's going to force a south pole here, and on this side, and the back of the coil, which is soft, is going to force it to have enough pull also. So that's all for now for this part. There are other things to watch out for here, but the first experiments must go on first. Testing output. Will it neutralize? Well, let's check it out. Alrighty then, let's place this into practice. Hold this down like this. Hold it down, hold it down. Back, forth, back, forth, forward. So here you have it. Now bear in mind, this test is being done with the original rotor of the stepper motor. Okay, but I have affirmed that the coils wound just like the way I just showed is producing energy. Both coils. Okay. Start. The end of one of the coils was placed on the start of the other coil, of the other phase. For a matter of fact, it's not a phase, it's one phase with two coils, separate coils. So I can have some sort of series output with two output, which I rectify. So that's the first results. We are generating. Okay. So here you have it. Ta-da. Okay. Coil test, the generator test, one with the coils in series. Let's do this. That's the load. Okay. Coil 1 is in series with coil 2, which are on the same tips. Okay. We are messing around with power output right now. Okay. Okay. So this is a new rotor I have in there. It with 4 poles. I was using the original stepper motor rotor. If you have ever seen this generator before. Okay, right now I made a rotor, 4 magnets. Make the test. Now I'm going to place 2 loads on each coil, 1 load on each coil. Going to have to stop this first. Okay. Alright. Now I'm still running test with the same rotor. Right? However, both of the coils which are on the same phase are now on a load. Now it's very important I balance the load, like same load on each side. But these tests are not for these purposes. Why balance the load? Because I want an equal force magnetic field coming from both coils. Okay? For the test, the real test I want to run on this thing. Now you know each time a magnet passes, there's going to be a force in the coil. If there was one group of coils, but there I have 2 groups of coils. So I want an equal reaction in these both coils. So in order, you'll have enough pole if one coil, if you have one coil wrong, you'll have one enough pole. and a soft pole on the other side. But with this configuration, I'm going to have a north and a south pole on each side. So I want these two poles with equal load. These are not equal loads. So when I am testing to see if each of the coils are sending current, I need two loads. Okay, so this is one coil, coil 1 and coil 2. And they are doing the business. Okay? Okay? Because I would like to know what effect having two poles generated from electromagnets will have on a generator. But first things first, are we generating power with a magnetic field moving in two directions at the same time? Yes. Okay, because you know what? First things first, baby. First things first. Yeah, as they say, what they say? They say, first things first. First things first. Okay. Okay. What do we have here? So, if you'd like to have a look inside, inside side of the stator. I made a video not too long ago about flywheels. It was the same coil winding, but I used the original rotor of a stepper motor. Okay. This, however, is what I used recently. North-south rotor. To see what these coils have inside. So, first part of my strange experiment. What should I call this thing? Should I have an episode on these things? Who knows? I might pull up some strange experiments. So I'll call this one episode 1. Episode 1. That's it. It's a wrap.